Voltron Network.
And we're live. What's good, guys? Welcome back to Talking at the Movies. I'm Eddie Santonio.
It's Mo.
Mo. How you doing? How you feeling? The weather's getting better. It's getting milder.
It is. The very first thing I've noticed is like how long it's staying daylight.
And 3 months from being out of this friggin' quarantine, and life can begin anew.
You've fallen for the lies.
What do you mean? Everything's gonna be better.
They're just saying that now. When 3 months from now comes, it's gonna be like, it's mutated and you can't even leave your house.
No, it's gonna be perfect. Life will be better than it ever was.
Have you already
rich and happy?
Have you already thought about your Independence Day? What you're gonna do? I bet there's gonna be a lot of people taking holiday that day, right? It's gonna be like pub at lunchtime, completely legless by 3 o'clock.
People are getting wrecked. STDs are gonna skyrocket. All the casual sets are gonna be going down.
Man, I'll tell you, the one thing I want is a steak at Hawksmoor. And if you've ever been to Hawksmoor, you know the quality of the steak that they do there. But that is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, eating out, going to a bar, just getting, everything. Shit. Don't make me dream, man. Don't make me dream. Anyway, I'm Ed. Oh, we did that shit. Yep. So, guys, how have you been? We are back. This week on Talking at the Movies, we're going to be reviewing, Mo.
I Care a Lot. We're also going to be talking about Promising Young Woman.
Promising Young Woman. We're going to be talking One Division. Mo did a film which I forgot to watch. What's it called?
Judas and the Black Messiah.
And I did a movie which I forgot to tell him about. Monsters of Man. Remember the one with the robots in the jungle? We checked out the trailer.
Oh, yeah. The really shitty looking one.
It wasn't that shitty.
You were like, this looks terrible. It's the one where literally everyone looks really cheap. Everyone's just getting gunned down by like these robots. Yeah.
So it's that.
What the hell made you watch that?
We'll get to it. And we're going to be reviewing this week's One Division. Episodes.
Is that episode 7?
I think. And special little thing this week. Now, regular listeners will know a couple of weeks back, or about a month or two ago, we had our little embedded undercover spy who got a chance to check out the Bond movie, which will it ever be released? I don't know, man. Would it be like winter before that thing ever drops? But they got to get a sneak peek and give us their spoiler-free review, and they've done it again. But this time with something which is only around the corner. What, 3.5 weeks?
About a month, right? It's the 18th, so about
a month away for Justice League. So we asked them some questions, and they got back to us. And we're going to be revealing those questions to you guys a little later. So Mo, first of all, what have you watched?
What have I watched? Right, so shall I just dive in with Judas and the Black Messiah? This is one of Warner Brothers movies, that was supposed to come out in the cinema. It's come out on HBO Max. So this essentially is the story of Bill O'Neill, who infiltrated the Black Panther Party as an FBI informant for J. Edgar Hoover, essentially, right? As the party chairman Fred Hampton ascends, I'm just reading the synopsis here, so it's a bit weird. Falling for a fellow revolutionary en route, a battle wages as O'Neill's soul. So essentially, Judas is this guy who got caught Grand Theft Auto, right? Trying to steal a car. He is essentially blackmailed by the FBI, saying you've impersonated an FBI. Oh, that's it. So he used to rob cars instead of using like guns or knives. He used to pretend he was an FBI agent, like a black dude. He used to wear his hat down so people couldn't see his face and stuff, right? Yeah. And he'd be like in and out. And when they ask him, like, why do you use a badge and not a knife? He goes, that a badge is far scarier than a knife.
That's
right. It makes a lot of sense. But because he's done those two things, Fat Matt Damon, and when I say Fat Matt Damon, I am talking about Jesse Palomos, I think is his surname. You know him when you see him.
The lookalike one, yeah.
And actually, he's lost a lot of weight. It's just his face looks a bit chubby now. He's actually looking in great condition. He essentially blackmails this guy, saying, you're looking like a long time in prison, but we can do something. So they essentially want him to infiltrate this group of Black Panthers and essentially report back. And then when it's appropriate, they'll use him to take down Fred Hampton. So all based on a true story.
Yeah.
So Fred Hampton is this guy who essentially looks like he's a really nice, decent guy, right? He raises money to feed children, to get them educated, to like help people in the neighborhood with problems that they're having, right? But because he's able to start controlling and massing followers, the government gets very nervous.
Yeah. And
the main issue I had with this film is like the dialogue for like some of the main characters are so muffled. I had to turn on like the subs. Like some of the FBI characters, J. Edgar Hoover, all talk absolutely fine, right? It's like, but the main characters, blah, 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 and you're kind of like, I only understood like 5 of the 10 words you just said. So once you got the subs on, that solves that problem, right? The actual film itself, it's a lot more serious than, say, Black Klansman, which I really enjoyed. So this tells like a really good story. There's some really powerful sort of performances in here. It kind of really makes you think, like time and time again, black folks have just been screwed over for no reason, right? Essentially, J. Edgar Hoover doesn't want to send this guy to prison. He just wants him killed because he goes, you go to prison, you turn them into like this messiah type thing.
You heard that stuff that's going on in the news now about how that former NYPD officer has come forward with like a letter that has evidence that Malcolm X was wanted to date possible assassination. Like people always had that theory that he was assassinated by the government, but this guy says that there's evidence of it, like legit, that the FBI and
it wouldn't surprise me at all because like the agenda in here was like J. Edgar Hoover. Like he's sitting there and he's talking to Jesse Palomos's character, who seems like he's a decent guy, and he literally just starts saying, and he uses the N-word, and I'm not going to use it, and he's just saying, like he asks Jesse like, how old is your daughter? And he goes, oh, she's like, I think like 4 months or something. So he's like, so how would you feel when she brings Homer? And then he says like the N-word, and he's like, I don't understand the question. I don't know why you ask, because obviously he doesn't have the hatred for black people like J. Hoover did. And he's trying to make the point.
That's always been my test in terms of if people are racist or not. No matter how cool they are, what would happen if their kid, namely their daughter, brought home someone of either black or even Asian or any color? Yeah. Like, how would they react? Would they be chill or true colors come through? Never know.
It's a very good film that everyone should see. I don't think it's quite as like entertaining as say like Black Klansman, Malcolm X, those type of films.
One for award season, maybe.
Possibly. I did think Daniel Kaluuya's performance as Fred Hampton was pretty good. He does come across as like genuinely a man who's like who believes almost that he is some form of messiah.
Really?
Yeah.
That up his own ass. God.
Not up his own ass, but he believes the message that he's selling, right? Unfortunately, some of the stuff that he says, things like, I'm not going to die an old man, I'm not going to die as a heart attack, I'm not going to die in a whatever, because I'm going to die by the pig shooting me. So he's like, kill 1 pig, get some satisfaction. Kill 2 pigs, get more satisfaction. Kill a whole bunch of pigs, get a ton of satisfaction type thing.
Damn. Well, that's what you rate.
Yeah. I'd give that a 3.5.
All right.
And I'm only saying 3.5 because it's just that damn dialogue issue, man. I don't know, like a lot of modern films seem to be having this issue.
Yeah. So anything else?
A couple of quick ones I'm going to do. So for the first time in my whole entire life, I watched on Sunday When Harry Met Sally.
Man, you've never seen it?
I know of it. I've seen the trailer. Imagine when it came out. It was 89. I was like, I don't know what, 12 years old or something. I had no interest in watching When Harry Met Sally.
Good films are good films.
But at that age, it wouldn't mean anything to you. Like, watch it now, and you're like, absolutely, you know what? It is a really good film. It might be a rom-com type film, but it is really good.
It's probably a film which I should have been watching now because I watched it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And all I remember is that scene in the restaurant.
Right. Yeah. So I do want to address that scene. I'm sure in 1989, That scene was groundbreaking, right? You watch it now, and you're just like, Ryan, Meg, that's like the worst fake orgasm like I've ever seen.
yes, oh yes. And was this when the woman said, "I'll have what she's having" or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Besides that, I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I probably should revisit it.
It absolutely. It really is. I think it's a film that stood the test of time. I still think it's really relevant now as it was then. But I think you've just got to be older to really appreciate it.
It's weird as well. Like, was it Meg Ryan and
Billy Crystal?
Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal would not be a leading man nowadays.
You know what? I actually went out to look at what other films he has done, right? Because I could only think of that and City Slickers.
Yeah.
And Throw Mama from the Train. And I was just like, how was Billy Crystal a big star?
Analyze This, I think was his.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I don't think I've analysed this and analysed that. I don't think I've actually seen those. So I might have to check those out.
But he was a comedian, isn't it? That was his like bread and butter for a long time.
But I'm not entirely sure if he wouldn't be a leading man. He probably...
Come on, man.
Yeah, but I mean, he was actually really good in that, and I think that was the whole point.
He's a good actor, but
I think that was the whole point. When Harry Met Sally, he wasn't supposed to be this like drop dead, gorgeous looking guy. He was just an average Joe, which actually makes the film even better.
Yeah, but nowadays an average Joe would be still someone who's
Ryan Reynolds
with abs. Exactly. It's not realistic anymore.
And then yesterday, I was just in the mood for I just wanted to watch something funny. So I was looking through like my Stiller, Will Ferrell, Farley Brothers collection. And I noticed I had a copy of The Campaign that I'd never watched. It's a Will Ferrell film from 2012. So I thought, watch the trailer. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch this. This is a Will Ferrell film that no one talks about. When you say, tell us your favorite Will Ferrell film.
Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah. It is fucking superb. In fact, the Will Ferrell films I like are the ones where he's not completely stupid. Like, he is zany, but he's still got, like, some brains. And this is like one of those sort of films, and it is superb. In fact, it's so good. Like when now, like in 2021, when you're watching it, like considering all the political stuff that's happened, and you're watching, and you're like, real life is more crazy than this film.
It's mad. It's nuts.
I just love the bit right at the beginning where Dan Aykroyd and John Lithgow, who play like these rich brothers, are essentially trying to get a congressman to sign off on the fact that they want to stamp "Made in America" on products that are made in China, that are made in a town called America.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that. Yeah, so messed up.
It is superb. Highly, highly recommend it. I laughed so much watching that film. Like halfway through it, I was just like, this is actually a really good film.
Yeah. I don't think it didn't do great. I don't know whether it flopped or it made its money back at the time, but I remember it wasn't really beloved when it came out.
Yeah.
But they were still entertaining. Like, I miss Will Ferrell films, man. It's been over a year now.
It's been a while.
Actually, no, we had that crappy
Fire Saga.
It's very rare that I don't like a Will Ferrell one, but then he had that, the friggin' Eurovision one.
Yeah, because I was looking at like pulling together his filmography, and it kind of looks like his actual last proper one has been a while. I think it might have been like 2014, 2015, because he's done like a serious film since then. He's done that Fire Saga one. There does seem to have been a bit of a break.
Yeah. Well, can't be long.
Yeah, but I'm working through. Yeah, well, I mean,
it'll pop up on Netflix or something.
It probably will. Yeah, that's where everything is now, right? Netflix. Yeah. So apart from all the stuff that I've been watching as part of the review segments, that's my stuff for the week.
Young Rock.
Oh shoot! You know what? I completely forgot about that. Oh damn! Yes, I did watch. Did you watch?
I did.
Yeah. I've completely forgot to write it down. So, The Young Rock premiered last week. I think episode 2 is out tomorrow.
Yes. So, you're a lot more optimistic for this than I was. So
it's the first episode, so remember that. They're finding their feet.
It don't matter. It's not going to change. This is The Rock. This is him and his ego running wild.
I think it's going to get funnier. I think there will be more comedy as it goes on.
Doesn't matter. It's still just him stroking his ego. He's on his presidential campaign when he's like 70 years old, but still looks like he's 50. He's freaking the strongest guy in the gym when he's in college. He's like, live this up.
Yeah, but all that stuff is fine, right? Because you expect that all of The Rock.
Can't stand The Rock.
You can't stand. You love The Rock. I bet you, like, if you turn the camera to the other wall, there's a big portrait of The Rock there. You know what? For a pilot episode, I thought it was pretty decent. I'm assuming that it's in conjunction with the WWE because you've got things like, you know, Andre the Giant. You had like other Junkyard Dog, other wrestlers also being mentioned.
Really, no, it isn't because those are WWE doesn't own those names really. Just because they appeared in WWE, they also appeared in other things as well beyond WWE, before WWE, so they're just generally known. That I did like that sort of history, the old school Wild Samoans, and getting to see the Iron Sheik and all of those characters. They should have gotten the Big Show though to be Andre. The guy wasn't big enough. Should have just gotten Big Show.
Oh yeah, man. The guy was just tall and thin, right?
Yeah.
Didn't have it. It's got some promise. It reminded me of like, what's it? Everyone Hates Chris.
Exactly. Yeah. Very
That's
much
fine.
so.
There's nothing wrong with that because Everyone Hates Chris reminded me of the Wonder Years. It's just like
but that
the
was
evolution.
More self-detrimental compared to this. Who knows? I do like Randall Park being in and stuff.
Yeah, I do hope. Yeah, I do hope they keep that segment. I wonder if they film all of that like up front.
Yeah, they must.
In like one
big
day
goal,
or something. Yeah.
So thumbs up from you. Then you're gonna keep going.
I'm gonna keep watching it, man. It's like I said, first episode. Most comedies like first episode is a bit iffy, and I wouldn't say this was iffy. It was just kind of like tonally. I was expecting it just to be funnier.
Did really well though. I think it got like 5 million views first episode. NBC.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. Jeez, when did 5 million viewers become like a massive success?
I know.
Do you remember the day? 5 million was enough to get you cancelled.
That's so mad.
Back in the day.
You had to have like 10 or 20 million. I can't even imagine a show doing that now. Right, some of those reality shows do that.
Yeah.
Kind of sad. Too much choice. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, what else I watched? A little movie called Monsters of Man. Now, you said it was crappy from the trailer. It is crappy, but it's crappy in a fun way. You looking it up?
Yeah. Well, I was just going to browse the IMDb page.
Oh, right, bro. I want to hear you read.
What was it called again? Men
synopsis.
of Monsters.
Monsters of Man.
Oh, Monsters.
Of Men. Or Man.
Of Men.
Or Man. One of the two.
Monsters of Man.
Yeah, man.
So, let's have a look. A US weapons manufacturer tests its 4-killer robots on heroin producers in the Golden Triangle in Southeast Asia. It goes haywire. What? What have I just read?
Is that how it's written?
4-killer robots on heroin. Oh, no. 4-killer robots on heroin producers, right.
That's terribly written. That's like lazy. That's like the drunken pitch you do when you want to first raise money for it. But yeah, basically...
I want to see the version where the robots are on heroin.
Basically, these weapon manufacturers, like it said, in conjunction with the FBI, they're testing out these robots, parachuting them into the jungle in... It's never really explained, but it's probably like a Thailand, Philippines type place.
Yeah.
And basically, this little village, which heroin produces, but there are civilians there, families, people just living their lives, and they're just going to use these robots to just wipe everybody out, just to test their product. But while that goes on, there are also these medical, they're not tourists, they're like students, nurses, doctors, that are just going to the third world, being the Samaritans, trying to help people, but they're lost. And they stumble into this village the exact same time that these robots land. So they're just getting slaughtered. The problem with this, as fun as it was kind of fun, is that nobody's likable. Like the medical students are idiots. They do the typical horror It's basically Terminator / Predator in one movie. That's what the synopsis was for this. And they're dumb because, you know, the sort of typical situations in a horror movie where it's like the enemy's just around the corner, they're looking for them and they have to be quiet. But then that one person just has to start screaming like, "Oh my God, I need to get out of here! I need to get out of here now!" It's like, shut the fuck up. And just gets everybody killed. It's that sort of scenario, but it's dumb fun, man. That's what it should be.
It's got a runtime of 2 hours and 11 minutes. Doesn't feel long.
It was longer than I expected. I got to about 1.5. Thought this should be ending about now. And saw that it's like 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
But it tries. It tries with the small budget it has, and it's fun. It's fun. It's better than the Beyond the Wire bullshit. That's going to be our benchmark now for bad films. Better than that. I enjoyed it more than that film.
All right. Okay. That was a bad film. I didn't even finish that film.
Exactly. But it's still just a 2.5-star movie.
What, this Monsters of Man? So you're saying 2.5?
Yeah.
So does 2.5 mean you will never watch it again?
Oh, I won't bother go back to it now.
Yeah, right.
But I don't necessarily regret watching it. No big stars in it.
Yeah.
No necessarily memorable sequences, but it's just, you know, just one of those people get mowed down by robots. Oh, one goes crazy because it messes up his head. So you've kind of got the robots killing everybody and it's one rogue robot trying to figure out what it is and what it means to be alive, and it adds a little interesting.
What are the special effects like?
They're fine for the budget. The robots actually look good.
Okay.
And most of it's all in the jungle, so they don't, you know, they save on their budget with it.
Would I bother watching this film?
Nah, you want to bother. You want to bother.
Right.
Cynical self. You want to open your heart to it. Just enjoy this.
Will I just be cursing it?
Yes. Damn you, Eddie. Why are you making me watch this?
Right. Anything else?
No. Not beyond our main reviews.
So, which one are we going to talk about first? I Care a Lot, Promising Young Woman.
Promising Young Woman.
Promising Young Woman.
What are you going to do? John.
Right. Honestly, this film, shall I just give you my star rating and then take the conversation?
Oh, go on then.
I would honestly say this is the first film of 2021 I will deliver 5 stars to.
Really?
I really enjoyed this film from the moment it started to the moment it ended. I enjoyed Kerry Mulligan's performance. I thought she played this broken psycho woman so well. I loved her parents, the dynamic between Stifler's mum and like her dad. I loved the way that they portrayed like her boyfriend. Like that sort of twist just came, like literally I didn't even consider it. Just came.
No, I did. As soon as they said there's a video, we're going to say spoilers or non-spoilers.
Oh, see, it hasn't even come out over here yet, you know, because we're lucky we've got like preview copies and stuff like that. Okay. I'm not entirely sure we should spoil it. For
all right, we're not going to spoil it. No spoilers. Still haven't seen this film.
Yeah.
Even though it's been out for a while in the States, but yeah, we won't spoil it. It's going to be difficult to really get into the meat and potatoes of this thing.
But actually, just talk about that. When I watch reviews on YouTube, when I watch a review for a movie I have not seen, I hate it when they go for like a scene by scene breakdown, because I'm like, review the film, make me interested in watching it. Don't tell me everything that's happened in it.
Yeah, it's true. I agree with you in the sense that this is a weird movie for me, because I definitely recognize it was a good movie, well written, well acted. Definitely kept me interested, but at the same time, I don't know whether I didn't really enjoy myself watching it.
Oh.
It was weird, but then I still recognize it's a good film. So I'm not going to say it's terrible.
Is that because you saw yourself and the men in this film? Is that,
no.
Is that why you found it difficult to watch?
No. There was something. There was the coldness to it. Like it has a similar issue that I Care a Lot has. But I feel it was harder in this. Care a Lot for me had a lot more, not really fun, but this was so joyless. Like there's no.
It's not supposed to be a fun. It's not supposed to be a fun movie, Eddie. It's a very serious subject.
But there's nothing. Like, everyone's doing wrong. Like no one's doing the right thing in this. Even her, even though she has good motives.
Yeah.
For the fact that she's basically thrown her life away.
that's more depression than doing the wrong thing, right? She's had this thing happen to her. No one has listened to her friend.
Wasn't her.
No one has listened. Like even like so you can probably understand from a degree that men are standing together, but like even the women who are involved in this are like helping to cover up like this thing that has happened.
Yeah. But it is an extreme situation that she takes it upon herself to just live a life doing this one thing over and over again.
It is. But it is a film, right? And in films, you always see like the extreme thing. But what I actually don't get is what is she actually doing? Because it's not like from the trailer, I thought she'd probably go psycho on them. Like, does she kill them? Does she like whatever? But she doesn't seem to actually do anything to these men.
Well, that's a minor spoiler mode. I don't want to give that away. But she's basically just exposing them. Putting that mirror up in front of their face to kind of confront what they are and what they've been doing.
But I'm going to assume like certain types of men like probably won't care, like do it. But the guy
is an issue that I don't think I don't know who wrote this. Was it a female writer? Maybe.
Female written and directed.
Yeah, that may be the difference between men and women in terms of feeling like, oh, if I put this mirror up in front of you, it's going to destroy your world. But the truth is, men because we're so ego-driven to a degree, it doesn't affect us in that same way.
I think
maybe that's unrealistic.
And actually, I do think like for different people, it'll be different. So some guys will behave like the guy who was doing the coke, right? He literally freaked out.
But I think that's more of the fear of getting caught if they try to do it again, rather than it being something that, I have to confront this
No, you're absolutely right. It's more the fear that like she's going to phone the police now and I'm going to be screwed type thing, right?
Or if he goes to the club again, he can't. He's scared of picking up because he don't know who's going to be true or not. Is that a reason enough? I guess if it gets the job done, the guys to act right.
But it kind of makes you think like it's how many like people do this like regularly, right? I'm sure this happens all the time. I was thinking like, would I do this? And I was like, I would be more worried about being around a drunk person than being around a sober person. And that's just because I've dated someone who used to have who could get really drunk, and they are more difficult to handle than a sober person.
That is a different, like, we'll open up a whole can of worms. We can't even get deep into this. But this was a standard perception of what you do on a Friday, Saturday night. Like over here, we're heavy drinkers in this country. That's the standard. You go to the bar with your friends, you get pissed drunk, and you wake up in a stranger's bed. You can't really do that nowadays because, the implications of it, even if at the time it's accepted, it can still be an issue retroactively.
That's why you need the consent app now, don't you?
Yes.
Although apparently you can get so drunk that like your consent can't be legal. So I don't know how they measure that. You have a breathalyzer and stuff now as well. It's like a whole kit.
You don't pick people up at the bar. So.
No, but I think that the moral of this particular film though is it's like if somebody is that wasted, like don't take advantage of that.
Completely belligerent.
Yeah. And so I think there is a bit of a difference there. It's literally some like men were taking her home to take advantage of her.
I never really got guys that are into doing that to chicks. Yeah. Like you want the interaction, you want the back and forth. You don't just want a slap.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's that's just passed out. Yeah. If you want that, just get married or something, right?
There you go. For the man who knows. But I definitely loved it. I want to point out another thing, but it's spoilers, so I won't get into it. But I saw the little surprise bit that as soon as Alison Brie mentioned that there was this
video.
So, I knew it's like, okay, I know where this is going.
The one other thing I want to say is the use of the orchestral version of Toxic. Britney Spears Toxic. I thought that worked so well.
Yes, I was thinking, that's familiar. That's, Britney. It sounded so good. Do you think it became a bit of a comedy at the end? Because of Max Greenfield?
There is a lot of like there's a lot of dark humor in it. Yeah, I was watching
there is, but him in particular, he's so pro. Every reaction he has is so over the top.
Yeah, but that's what I loved. I loved it.
It changes the tone of the film completely. It goes from being this sort of miserable drama, which is still entertaining, but then he comes in it and it just suddenly.
but that's his character, right? He's at a bachelor party. If somebody tells you what he's just heard. Like you literally would like, what do you mean? Like you know, You would have the same reaction.
When he reacted though, when he pulled up the pillow, I was like, I would have acted.
That was brilliant. I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, Promising Young Woman. Good film, but a miserable watch for me. But still, I recognize as a solid. Yeah. I'll give it a 4-star film.
I've got a feeling this might be Oscar contender.
Quite possibly.
And I say that because A, I enjoyed it, but B, the competition for films from like this period is not great.
Yeah. But let's get into the next one.
Right. I Care a Lot.
Movie that I personally enjoyed a lot more.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, so you're gonna go the other way? Okay.
I'll tell you now. I'm actually amazed on forums at how much people dislike this film.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I get it because maybe more so than Promising Young Woman. Everyone's a piece of shit in this film.
Absolutely.
Break down the synopsis first before we get into it.
Right. So this film is it's a crooked legal guardian who drains the savings of her elderly wards, meets her match when a woman she tries to swindle turns out to be more than she first appears.
Indeed. It was nice seeing Diane West. I haven't seen her in anything in so long. She used to always be in films back in the day. But everyone's a piece of shit in this film. So there's no one really to root for because everyone deserves what they should get coming to them.
Some people are more pieces of shit than others, though.
Who do you think was more, though?
Well, hold on a minute. Rosamund Pike was definitely the biggest piece of shit, right?
Yes. I was going to say, I thought you were going to be like Peter Dinklage was like the worst.
Oh, no. She played her part so well, right? That first half an hour of this film, honestly, I felt like I was having rage issues.
Yes,
honestly.
Yes. I was like, so good at this, but she's so fucking evil. And the fact that this is something which happens, but it was even more angry that they picked someone and they were able to have this whole process happen.
Yeah.
But to explain, it's like they get old, like you said in synopsis, but these carers pick elderly people that they know either have property of value or other, money, big bank accounts, whatever, and they put them into homes purely so they could drain those resources from them.
Yeah.
And take it away from their family. Like that guy, poor guy, that just wanted to see his mom at the beginning.
Yep. And you know what? All of this was being done so well that you kind of think surely some of this is actually based on fact, right? Like the writers have obviously seen a case in the media or whatever. Something's happened, and it just goes to show you like how the system is just rigged or can be so manipulated.
But what I was going to say, the fact that they could target someone and get this process going in the courts and hold hearings when this person's completely unaware and they're living their life
just
fine,
unbelievable.
And
then no matter what happens, because even once they're like thrown into a home, they're cut off from their family, they're cut off from like their phone, the people who run the homes are in on it.
A prisoner, and everything's just getting. The fact that the day that they took her in, they put her into the housing, they just started to clean out the house and sell off and auction all of her possessions. It's like, it's scary that if you don't have kids and you're elderly, man, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you do have kids in this situation, it's like, fuck.
You would hope, like, in this country, it's a little bit, like, it's not so easy, right? Because you'd kind of think, if you can demonstrate that you are... Yeah. But like, it's horrific. And I'm sure this happens. I'm sure it happens all the time. But then after about half an hour, the tone of the movie shifts and it completely changes.
It becomes a game of cat and mouse or a game of chess that I was really enjoying between Rosamund and Peter.
It is, but I will say, and maybe it's just done on purpose, but like Peter Dinklage's like team,
the worst,
like just the most incompetent.
The worst. These people are supposed to be rushed. Minor spoiler. We're not going to give away the full ending, but minor little issue. These people are Russian gangsters, and they are the dumbest group of individuals that can't get anything done. They can't kill anyone properly. They can't kidnap anyone. It's ridiculous. Everyone, they fail at doing everything. Every task that's given to them, they fuck up.
They fail, and maybe that's part of the charm of it, right? Because he's just surrounded with people who aren't good at their jobs, and that's all he's got left.
How good is Peter Dinklage though? That regardless of his stature and everything, it takes 2 minutes and you're completely in there.
Superb.
With him.
Yeah. He's a superb actor. Do you know what I mean? He plays this part so well. You can see the grief on his face when things are down. You can see the anger on his face when he's standing there and talking to his man, saying, "You've done a shit job. Like, you haven't really got the information. What's the matter with you?" That type of thing. Superb. The acting in this film was brilliant by everybody. And I've also just got to give a shout out to Isa Gonzalez. Wow.
Yes. This is a big difference from Bloodshot, because she's in that as well.
Oh, is she? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
This is a big step up.
Yeah, big step up. I will say, though, the last 20 minutes, I'm not entirely sure.
Well, it means it gets a bit too crazy
It gets a bit crazy, but as a viewer, I don't know whether I have been cheated, whether whether it's so clever that it went over my head, because days after watching this, I'm still thinking about it. And I think, oh, hold on a minute. Maybe this is a metaphor, this film and this ending, that both Peter Dinklage and Rosamund Pike's characters are actual metaphors for actual business, right? And it's like, when you have competition, they basically fight each other. And eventually you get to a point where the conglomerates will just merge and then just screw over the customers. And that's essentially what's happened in this film, right?
Stop giving it away, Mo. Jesus. Yeah, you're right. They just each other at first in their fight, and then eventually they just turn their attention to the poor innocent us, the innocent sheep.
It is so much that. And so that's changed my whole opinion on that end. But
I'm happy it had the actual end that it had.
Oh, yeah.
It needed to have that explanation point at the end, or this would just be a soul-destroying end of a movie. Just be like, this is a miserable experience.
Yeah. No, I completely agree about that, because that also, like the choices that you make dictate what happens to you in life.
Yeah. I enjoyed this, man. I had a lot of fun with it. Even though that was the hard thing of it, just being no one's good. Everyone's a piece of shit. Like, who am I supposed to... You can't even really empathize with the woman who got taken in, because obviously she was a victim, but she obviously wasn't wholly good. She knew what Peter was, and she was a little shady in herself, the identities and all of that stuff. It's like everyone's...
Yeah, but like I think some are worse, right? I was definitely rooting for Dinklage for most of the film, right?
Yeah. More so. 4.5 for me.
Yeah, I would probably give that, I don't know, either 3.5 or a 4.
God, come on.
I'll go with a 4.
Good.
Like, considering it's a straight to streaming film, it was very good.
You know, if cinemas are open, this will be in a cinema, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But straight to streaming, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
So we're going for WandaVision.
Oh, WandaVision. Right. Episode 7. The Modern Family / The Office episode.
Yeah. Now, our boy did not enjoy this at all. Presenter of DC versus Marvel podcast, but I'm just having fun with it. I just have fun with this shit.
I really don't understand, because I thought this episode was bloody superb. And that might have something to do with the fact that I love Modern Family and I love The Office.
It helps. And I don't know if he watches either of those shows, but it definitely helps if you have that reference.
Yeah. And I loved all the stuff with Vision just sitting outside the truck on his little chair, talking away.
Until he realizes, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. I love the stuff, the way the Wanda was just sitting there and talking to the screen like Modern Family does. I think the whole thing just works.
Going through depression because it's all falling apart. The world's starting to glitch. She extended it too far. She's losing a grip on it.
Yeah.
And then we find out the puppeteer, or maybe one of the puppeteers behind it, that's been manipulating everything during the journey, is Agatha.
Agatha, who then we get a whole recap of like what she's been up to.
And I love that tune. I'm gonna be playing in the background. That little theme tune that's like the Monsters / Addams Family.
Yes, yeah.
It just
And they go
something
through.
I've never heard. It's crazy.
Yeah, they go through all the episodes, right? Like literally from episode 1, showing all the little things. Like, even like where she's sprinkling Pietro with like her power, and she's just sitting there with like a glass of champagne.
And then a bit, and I killed the dog too. Oh, good. That is really good, man. She's so good.
She's very. What I'm really surprised about is I really thought they brought in like Emma Caulfield to be the big bad, like because I thought like she's a named actress who's like had this big part in like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They name dropped her in episode 2.
The Agatha actress is definitely a bigger actress.
She's a bigger actress, but you kind of think like, oh, you're bringing in like this sort of like character that's famed from like this other show, and you've literally referred to her as like. Nothing happens in this town without Dottie or something like that.
Yeah,
in episode
but we've
2.
seen her once.
We've seen her twice now because she was in this episode as well.
I don't even know. I didn't even know
it was a blink and you will miss it moment.
Yeah,
like she was in the garden, like tending her flowers, looking at like when Rambo comes in, and they're obviously having that fight in the garden.
Now, interesting background to this. Agatha Hartwell,
something like that.
Harkness, I think it was, is a character that exists. Minor character in the comics, was a villain and a hero in various different times. But connected to rumors that have been going on online about Jennifer Lawrence maybe being cast as Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four. And a lot of people feeling that Sword is going to be where they introduce it because it's space. Agatha Hartwell is, in large part, in many instances, a Fantastic Four villain. So is it all connected? Okay. It's weird. It's weird how all these little strings are all slowly connected. It's like, is it all one thing? Is it actually going to be the case? Would you want Jennifer Lawrence being part of a MCU proper?
I'm a red-hot-blooded man. I would never say no to a bit of Jennifer Lawrence.
How do you feel about Monica Rambeau and her transformation?
So I'm not entirely sure. So from what I'm hearing and seeing online, people seem to think that's happened just because she's gone in and out of like the vortex or whatever.
That's how they've explained it. Yeah, that just because she constantly keeps going back and forth, it's adjusted her molecular structure.
Right. Okay. So, but in the comics, she does have superpowers, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, she gets them differently some other way, but her name's Spectrum, but she has been in various periods of time in the 70s or 80s. She was Captain Marvel for a while.
Right.
And she's actually massively powerful, but she was just kind of a neglected character that just kind of disappeared.
Okay, rightio.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, did you see the post-credits scene with her?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
By coincidence. Because every episode it ends and there's this massive chunk still left playing. Yeah. I'm thinking, there has to be something there. And usually there isn't, but this time I let it play and lo and behold.
So I actually saw I actually saw it somewhere on Twitter saying, make sure you watch like the end credits this week. So I was like, all right, finally rewarded. I didn't actually, again, my facial recognition was on the flit. So I didn't realize that was Pietro until someone pointed out. He was like wearing a.
That's right.
It looked so different. I was like, and he talked different. I was like, who the hell is this?
It's just Mo, I have to take you to the doctors. This is just the end.
Looks like some dude that had just stepped out in the 90s or something.
I think I've made a joke before, but it makes me feel that the whole thing of Superman just wearing glasses isn't as unrealistic as we all thought. Because if everyone was like Mo, ability, just putting on a hat or glasses and that's it, easy.
They are two different people.
Amazing.
Yeah, I honestly, like, like people say, oh, I'd like this all to drop one episode a week. Fuck you, man. If the final batch of episodes were there, I would watch them right now. And I would I'd be in that afterglow right now by knowing what happened and watching it all.
It would be, but it is fun with this little tease, this drip.
Oh man, it's too much. I'm actually sad that we were like 2 episodes away now from the end.
I think so,
It's like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is not going to deliver this kind of
the mystery aspect. Yeah. I've heard people involved with that saying it's not what we're expecting it to be. So I'm hoping that's the case in terms of it just not being a straightforward action week to week, just basic. Even though that would be fun still.
Yeah.
but it'd be nice if there's a little more going on there.
Yeah, a little bit more cerebral. But
yeah, it'd be cool to see whether Mephisto does pop up as the bigger bad, or whether it is just Agatha, which I'm fine with either way.
So there was a theory that somebody posted on Twitter that Kevin Smith read out, and he did say, this is not my theory. This is like something I'm reading on Twitter, but how good would this be, right? So all the people that were blipped, when they came back, imagine some of those like had some form of superpower. Like that's where mutants come from. Just because.
I guess, why not? Who knows?
It's possible, right? Yeah. I think, that'd be actually.
I like if it's better if it's something that Wanda does, though, because it, like I said, saying last week, it reverses kind of what happens in the comic books, where she kills off mutants, and this time she could create them. I like that idea of it reflecting that.
But we don't even know now. Is it Wanda who? Well, it might not be Wanda who's doing all of this, right? It might actually be Agatha.
She's been manipulated, but Wanda's definitely created that bubble. But yeah, where does Agatha? Where did she intercede in that? Yeah,
exactly. So Agatha's not under her control, and I love it. You know what? I love the bit where she's in the car and she's checking her makeup while like Vision's not looking. But secondly, two things. They kind of broke something this week, and they didn't explain it. So, Kat Denning.
Yeah.
As soon as Vision wakes her up, she never falls back into the spell.
Yeah, because he didn't touch her again. Everyone else he's touched to wake them up.
Yeah.
He's done it again to put them back in.
Oh, right. Really?
Yeah, like the guy in the office.
I thought people just went back in after a minute or so. Like, no. That's all they could stay awake.
You must have looked over at the cat when it was scratching up your leg or something and missed it. But when he woke the guy up in the office, the episode before, he had to. The guy was freaking out and he just touched him again and he went back.
Right. Okay, that explains that one. I was like, I wonder why people aren't mentioning this. Then that explains it.
Yeah. So, Kat Denning's a lot more likable than a character. Like, I did like her in 4.
Yeah.
But not as annoying. I think they've given her, I guess because he just got more time with her. She wasn't really on screen a lot in the 4.
Exactly, yeah. But I didn't dislike her in Thor. I thought she was like the sassy sidekick. But do stick around, guys, because we've got like our review of Captain America, the first Avenger.
Yes. At the end. So, anything else to wrap up this episode, or?
No. I think we've covered all the major plot points there. It's just a wonderful, wonderful show.
It's fun. It's different. I'm enjoying it. Cynical, cold-hearted people that won't enjoy this.
Do you guys discuss the episode on your Marvel vs. DC?
Yeah, when we do it like every 2 or 3 weeks, when he's got time to do it. I think for the most part, it reflected my opinion. Started weak, got better, but he really did not like this week's one.
While we're talking Disney, have you had a chance to check out Star today?
I did. Gave it a look.
Yeah,
so we got the new channel in Disney Plus app.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed. So last night there was some reports that some content suddenly started going missing from Disney Plus. So it must have been things that are happening in the background. So like someone who's going, I started watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like 2 days ago, and now it's disappeared. Oh. So it turns out that they've now added like security ratings within the app. And because that was listed as like a 14 plus or something, everything like below 14 plus disappeared from the app and only reappeared this morning once you logged in and told it that you were over 18 or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. My only issue with it, there's a lot on there.
Yeah, there's a lot on there.
A lot. The organization of it. It's organized in, it's got the categories that you'd expect, family stuff, action, dramas, comedy, but it's mixed up the films and TV shows. So like if you're looking for like the X-Files TV show as opposed to the X-Files films, you might get a little confused because all you see is the posters. Because even when you highlight them and it has the big image like you do on Netflix, it doesn't have any information on whether it's a show or who's in it. It just has the title and that's it. Like that could be done better.
I do also find the layouts a bit claustrophobic, right? Because you've got like your 2 rows and then like you've got the other half of the screen is just like this big banner. Yeah. And it kind of like, give me more room to like scroll in. Like give me more rows that I can look at the same time. And I also find that there's no way just to say like, show me A to Z of all films.
Yeah, that'd be good as well.
Yeah. And I think the other issue they had, there's no quick way back to get back to home. Have you like scrolled, looked at something, then thought, oh, look, here's related, gone and looked at that,
and back,
and then gone
and back.
several. Yeah.
That needs to happen. That needs to be added in. But why do none of these platforms have playlists? Just why can't I have multiple playlists? I don't want to have profiles. Just a playlist where I can have one for, like how we've got on Plex, where you can have ones for, Marvel if you want.
Yeah.
Just have the ones you like. One for some sci-fi films. It could be films and TV shows. Just put them into this individual playlist. Why can't I just have that? Why do none of them have this? It's on Plex.
That's not a bad request, actually. I use collections on Plex quite a lot, so and it pretty much does the same thing as a playlist, but different.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Considering the amount of content that is on there, you do want one. You want more than one list.
Yeah. Just one list is too much, but a lot on there, so definitely more downtime from board, more selection. That the problem is when you have too much, you almost don't want to watch anything. Because you just can't make up your mind. So you just you give up and just go to YouTube and watch some.
I'm looking just forward to just diving into all the old 80s, 90s, and 2000s trashy comedies that I haven't seen for a while, or ones I haven't even seen, like California Man. Never seen that. I want to watch it now.
That was interesting. It's got the American name. It doesn't have the name it came out of over here.
What was it called over here?
Was it called
Encino Man?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Encino Man, and that's the title it's got on Disney Plus.
No, it's called California Man. I saw it earlier.
No, I looked at the poster. It said Encino Man, and I remember thinking, it's got the American one on it.
Yeah.
Which, why did they not just call it Encino Man? Or maybe they just thought.
Or maybe no one knows what Encino was. What is Encino? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But okay. I look forward to getting deep into it.
Yay. Right. Trailers, which we skipped last week.
Yes. We forgot to talk about
we had
big trailer.
One trailer, and we forgot to talk about it last week, even though I was so excited at the top of the episode.
So, Justice League, Snyder Cut. Full trailer.
Right. First, we're going to say, what the fuck is going on with this aspect ratio?
Yeah, I hope that's not what he goes for in the actual full thing, because he just seems to love squashing everything down.
Yeah.
I don't think Warner Brothers will let him do that.
I have no idea. And what I've really found that's absolutely fascinating about this film is actually Warner Brothers Warner Brothers didn't greenlight this film. Apparently it was AT&T that have done all the behind the scenes stuff. Warner Brothers had nothing to do with getting this off the ground.
So he went over their head. I like that.
Yeah, so that's really very, very... So the fact that...
And he's not being paid.
Yeah, so he's saying that he's got no interest in doing more. I reckon if this is a success, AT&T will approach him directly. And if this is a success, I'm telling you now, we will get Suicide's David...
Oh, yeah.
Ayer's cut.
Ayer's cut, yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a long shot. And I hope nothing in this contradicts, because I know Joker's in this.
Yeah. Will
Joker's appearance contradict anything that happens in
It's DC, isn't it? It's the Warner Bros. It doesn't matter.
It's fucking mess, yeah.
It's the trailer itself, right? I've seen Justice League once. So is how much in this trailer is it all new?
No, there's still bits and bobs there. There's still quite a bit there. And we're going to get into it when we get into our question back and forth with our individual who claims to have seen it.
Yeah.
But it still looks recognizably the same film. It just seems to have added scenes and moments that aren't in it. But it still seems beat to beat very similar.
So we're going to still get that shitty show off between these guys and... I don't know, was it Motherbound?
Well, you mean, what's his face? I can't even remember his name, man. The big shiny.
Yeah.
They have to have the bad guy. They have to fight the bad guy at the end.
Yeah, but it's almost like, are we going to get the exact same fight scene type thing?
I don't think it will be the same.
Yeah. But now hold on, there must be a lot, right? Because it's 4 hours long.
Yeah, there is a lot. I think they may be holding it back from the trailer. I think maybe that's the possibility.
Yeah. But, I guess I'm excited to watch this because I don't have to go to the cinema to watch it. And B, I've just read today, they are, or rather Snyder has just remastered the Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. and they're doing it as a IMAX cut and releasing it on like 4K disc. So I've just put order in for that because it's one of these manufactured on-demand discs as well. So I don't know if it's actually going to come out over here. But I thought, oh, that's very interesting because he's color graded it, and it's going to have a weird aspect ratio as well.
But your telly's not in that aspect ratio, so why would you want to watch it?
No. So, you know, like when they do the IMAX scenes in some films, they cover the whole screen. So apparently he's doing like a 166. So you're going to get slight...
Yeah, you're going to have the bars on the side.
Yeah, not full
big ones,
bars,
yeah, but you're going to
little
get still
ones.
thin ones.
Yeah. But still.
The film's the same, though.
The film's the same, yeah.
PBS, which was...
I think the director's cut is a better film.
I haven't loved any of these Justice League trailers, and I think it's because of the music. I haven't liked any of the music they've used. It just seems to be... Usually he has really cool banging tracks that just make me addicted to just watching these trailers over and over again. But for this,
and the film itself just looks really muted color-wise.
But that's all these films. That's fine with that. I don't mind that. Give me a dark. I don't mind.
But we're less than a month away from this now.
Yeah. Finally getting it out of the way. So long. The next one, Invincible. This is something I've had my eye on for a while because I'm familiar with the comic book it's based on.
Yeah.
From Image Comics. I was hoping that you would completely ignore this. It would come out and I'd get to like convert you to watching it and then you'd be blown away by it. But you've taken notice, so we have to talk about it.
It looks really good. It looks funny. It looks entertaining. It looks... I like the whole relationship that the father and the son seem to have. Yeah,
Invincible, Image Comics. It's popular mainly because it kind of invokes the similar feeling that people have with Spider-Man. Is that it's this relatable teenage hero who discovers his abilities, and he's learning to deal with that while dealing with his family issues. And it's very popular. For a long time, it's been real popular.
Yeah.
By the creator of Walking Dead.
Robert Kirkman.
That's it. So, I think this is next month as well. So, March is going to be fun.
It's going to be very, very fun.
And it's brutal as well. It's not like a kiddie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can see it in the trailer. You can see, like, people getting splattered and blood, like, everywhere. Yay.
So, this could be cool. Amazon exclusive. Mayor of Easttown?
Mayor of Easttown. I don't know if you want to discuss this one. I just put it in there because it's an HBO show.
Looks interesting. Is it actually a show, not a film?
It's a show. It is a series on HBO. The reason that caught my eye was Guy Pearce is in it. It's been a while since we've seen him, and he is looking as though he's weathered. The years are like piling on him. Yeah, it's kind of it looks interesting, right? It's a murder mystery type thing. It's HBO.
I'm hoping it's not going to do the typical thing and mean he's the serial killer. I hope it's going to swerve. You know, because she's a cop. She meets this guy, and they take a liking to each other, and then suddenly the serial killer pops up in town.
Yeah, they've already painted that in the trailer. I was like, the minute you do that, it's like, it's Guy Pearce, isn't it? It's Guy.
Maybe they'll be original, though. Maybe they will bait and switch us and make it her dad or something.
I like this whole thing about, like, when she was a kid, she's famous for, like, this basketball throw.
I know.
Like, what an odd thing where you're like, that's different.
Yeah, that is weird. And everyone just treats her like a fucking queen because she made a shot.
Yeah. Right.
Playing with power. Nintendo story. My friend sent me this like a week or two ago. Why? I actually ignored it. Why do we need another Nintendo documentary? What is there left to know that hasn't been shown in every other Nintendo documentary?
Well, I'm hoping there'll actually be a good one.
Some of the others I've seen have been pretty good.
Name me a Nintendo documentary you've seen that's good.
The thing is, they're more part of bigger documentaries. Like there was the series on Netflix that was about various things, and one episode was about Nintendo.
There you go. It was an episode.
And
this
there
is
was
like
the
Sean Austin and I can't remember who else.
There's nothing.
Will Wheaton.
There's nothing new to learn. We know everything about it.
No, but I still want to see the ultimate documentary. And I'm such a huge Nintendo fan that I'll watch it. Like having Will Wheaton, like Mr. Geek himself, like talk us through this could be interesting. You know you're gonna watch it.
Oh, we'll check it out.
There you go. Yeah.
The Vault.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I didn't even make it all the way through this trailer. It looked that bad.
Why'd you put it on there then?
I thought I'd see what Eddie's reaction would be.
You know I like bad action films.
Yeah, exactly.
and they look fun. They look like a good heist movie.
There you go. Really?
It looked like the Italian Job / España. It's all in Spain this time. I don't know. It could be interesting.
It's like, how far have Paramount movies fallen? Like, when I watch back like some of these 70s and 80s films I'm watching now, you're like, Paramount were like on the, like, they were the Disney of like the 70s and the 80s, and now it's
have no franchises, do they?
Yeah. Well, they have franchises. They're just not doing anything with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to appeal to a common denominator, I guess. Get that Fast and Furious crowd.
But, like, we're bad-mouthing Paramount movies, but the very next trailer, happily, this looks fucking awesome.
This look funny.
This looked great. And the trailer looks so good, the film's going to be shit, you know it.
Yeah. This couple who's too happy, so happy that people notice, and that they're told to take a drug which will make them like everybody else, arguing and miserable and bitter. But then for some reason they get invited to this Well,
hold on, don't they kill that guy?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And then they get invited to this gathering of these other couples, but they're trapped in there. Completely, almost a different film setup. That they're trapped in there with these other couples, and I don't know why, but they're being watched.
But it is, if you go on the IMDb page, it is actually billed as like a killer romantic comedy. That's the tagline.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what to say more, but I'm curious.
I'm curious. I mean, I do like Joel McHale. I think he's good in certain types of roles. He's always pleasant to watch. So I really like the trailer for this.
That's it. I really enjoyed this next one as well.
Oh,
Kevin can fuck himself.
I just came across this last night. I was like, I've got to add this.
Dude, the way that they handled the sitcom / real life dynamic in this is how WandaVision should have done it in the first 3 episodes.
Do you reckon? So this is the premise of this, and I didn't actually understand this from the trailer. It's supposed to be like the secret life of the sitcom wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
But within the context of the film, I think it's more a case of how she views her husband, who's just loved by everybody, compared to how she sees herself in her life, where she feels like whenever she's around him, he's like the center, he's the star of his own show, kind of mentality. Yeah. And she's just fed up with it. Yeah.
It looks really good, yeah.
It does look good.
And I think it's actually a series and not a film.
I think so too, yeah.
It's an AMC thing. This is like super original, right? Again, like not seen a concept like this before. So
the makers of this though were probably pissed when WandaVision started coming on. They were like, we're so original. We wanted to.
Yeah, we're gonna come on air now, and everyone's gonna say we've copied Wonder with Vision.
Exactly. Mortal Kombat.
I had to put it on here. I knew you probably want to talk about it.
I do. People have been falling in love with this all week. I'm kind of in the middle of the road with it. Like, I can see the cheesiness of it, but sometimes that can be a good thing. I'm not as harsh. Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic for this.
I think by looking at the trailer, I mean, from the trailer, they're obviously trying to make it look hard and edgy and adult, right?
Yeah, I'm happy they went for R-rated, 18 rated for this.
I think they are falling into the same trap as Street Fighter here. They're trying to shoehorn all the characters in some way or other, and I think that's going to be the downfall of this film.
Well, you can see that they focus mainly on this one weird guy who I don't even think is even in the game. This young, pretty boy, Asian character that's got a tattoo on him, web. But Scorpion obviously is one of the main heroes of it. Apparently, they said Sub-Zero is the main antagonist. Yeah. So at least that's clear cut that there is a main bad guy. No, I'm cautiously optimistic for this. It's gonna be better than Street Fighter at the very least.
Listen, man, that's a modern classic.
God dang, modern. How the hell? Cruella.
Lastly, Cruella. You know what? Up until like this afternoon, I hadn't even seen this. I even added it to the list last night. Thought it is a big trailer. Had no interest in watching it, but John Campier and Robert Meyer Burnett last night were gushing about it. They're saying they didn't want to see this film. They saw the trailers, changed their mind. I watched it and I was like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I love what's it, Emma Stone. So I know it's infinitely watchable, but I don't want to be. How am I going to be sympathetic towards this character that basically wants to kill Dalmatians to make a cult?
Well, that is it, right? Isn't like Cruella like the evil one, and they're building a film around her?
And now we've seen her on a back crying, so we're supposed to be, oh, feel sorry for her. She's been downtrodden, to give her motives to want to just kill puppies to make hats and coats. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It also looks like it's, I don't know, if I said it looks like it's a kid's film, there's nothing in the trailer that makes me say, I want to watch this.
Disney, every Disney film's kids film, but they just have that ability to balance that what appeals to kids also appeals to adults sort of thing. But I don't know. But you know, their live action stuff has been good. Most of it anyway. Not that I've seen all of it.
Right, yeah. Right. So, do we do the news? Do we do our exclusive?
Get to the news, man. Let's whiz through it and then we'll get to our...
Let's whiz through the news. So let's keep this short, right? Damn. So Edgar Riot to direct a remake of The Running Man.
This is interesting. I'm baffled. Like, is it going to be typical Edgar Wright in terms of the comedy aspects? Or is this going to be a comedic Running Man? Or is he going to go against type, against every other movie he's made, and make a serious action film?
So the thing is, like, the original Running Man did have, like, a lot of cheesiness in it, right? So the comedy actually did work, like, really well.
Oh, and the other interesting thing is he going to base it on the film? Or I'm guessing he's going to go more off the book.
Yes.
Where the Running Man was very different in the book. It wasn't trapped in a zone in the books. He was out in the world. Like, you were free to roam anywhere in the city, in the world. Which makes it a lot bigger and broader. So,
are you a fan of the original film? I haven't watched it in years. Love it. I remember loving it. Who loves you and who do you love?
I love that film. Come on, man. That's one you have to revisit, Emma, if you haven't seen it so long.
But it's almost like it's sacrilege to like remake something like this, because I can't imagine it being as good. You're not going to have the charisma of like Schwarzenegger.
But then again, it's not really a remake, is it? If it's not, the film wasn't the first iteration of it.
Total Recall. Remember when they made a movie of that was closer to the book than the original film was?
Yeah. But Edgar Wright, though. I mean, Edgar Wright.
That's what makes.
I love everything he does.
That's what makes this more tantalizing.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic for this. I love Edgar Wright. Just never misses for me.
Hold on, wasn't it End of the World not particularly great though?
Compared to the rest of the Cornetto trilogy, it was the weakest one, but it was still a fun, good film in itself. But it also came out at the same time that This Is the End came out. With Seth Rogen and all them. It was very similar in that regard. So Gareth Evans has an exclusive deal at Netflix. First project to star Tom Hardy. This is gonna be fucking kick-ass.
This is amazing. Yeah, but is Tom Hardy gonna be able to do the action that Gareth Evans is famous for?
You haven't seen Warrior, have you?
I have not, no.
It's a film where he plays MMA fighter and he learned MMA, trained his ass off.
Okay, fair enough.
And he was amazing in it.
Okay, fair enough then.
Tom Hardy's one of those actors that just becomes the character. Yeah.
Right, okay, fair enough. I mean, obviously, when I think like Gareth Evans, I think like The Raid, stuff like that. That's like some proper hardcore stuff. It's interesting. I'm hoping he's going to bring that kind of energy and those types of films to Netflix, right? I guess they've done a really good... I think they've had like a lot of good word of mouth about, what's the film with Extraction? That was it. And they want more action flicks like that now.
Yeah. Got a sequel coming down the road, apparently, for that. I'm curious whether Evans is ever going to go back to, I can't remember, was it Indonesia?
His life is just so strange, isn't it? Like a Welsh dude who just picked up and went to Indonesia to make films. Yeah,
got married to an Indonesian chick and just started making films there. And now he's back over here, but is he ever going back? Is he going to finish? He said he has an idea for the Raid 3. And I want it to be completed because those films are so fun.
I need to get around to watching Raid 2.
You've never watched it?
I've never watched Raid. I've never got the Blu-ray.
Fuck me, man. Mo, why do you do this? You know, even just you telling me this, just so angry. You should rewatch the first one.
That's what I want to do. I want to rewatch first before I watch the second.
It builds on the set in the first one so much. It's a completely different film.
Right. A couple of weeks ago, maybe months ago, we talked about Tim Burton doing a reboot of The Addams Family. At that point, it was unknown where it was going to be, so it's landed at Netflix. And it's going to be based on the character Wednesday, who's the daughter. And in this, she's going to be a detective.
Detective Pikachu. That's what they're doing. He saw Detective Pikachu with his kids and thought, I can do that. How can I do it grim and macabre? Oh, Addams Family. Yeah. Go back to that again.
It could be interesting.
He did the Addams. Did he do those films back in the 90s?
I don't think he did the Addams Family, did he?
I swear he had something to do with those Addams Family films.
IMDb. You know what? I haven't seen those films in a long time, actually.
Yeah. I swear he had to.
Addams Family, 1991. Let's have a look. Director was Barry Sonnenfeld. So, yeah. So
how did he style, though?
Well, it just looked like the Addams Family, right?
No, but he has that Tim Burton. Tim Burton has a very distinct fingerprint when his films do, and that kind of seemed real similar to it.
Well, maybe Barry was trying to emulate the Burton look in that.
Well, possibly.
Yeah. Interesting concept. Yeah, I guess it's something different. I don't know. I would have just preferred a straight up reboot of the Addams Family, right? Because there's so much you could do there.
And is it going to be live action or is it going to be animated?
Oh, I definitely think it's live action.
But Tim loves doing animation as well. You never know with him.
Yeah, I definitely think this is live action.
I'm gonna lean towards animated, stop motion.
Right, we'll see.
Like Nightmare Before Christmas. Mission Impossible 7 and 8 no longer shooting back to back.
Right. So obviously a lot of big things was made of this like last year or the year before, whatever. But there's been so many stoppages, stop and start, that it's run so over sort of time that apparently Paramount are now reining Tom in, and they want him to go out and promote Top Gun over the summer. Obviously, they're thinking cinemas are actually going to be open. People are actually going to be going to the cinemas and stuff.
Mission Impossible is also Paramount?
It is indeed, yes.
So they're ready to sacrifice guaranteeing their next sequel in favor of him just going around doing interviews, which he could do over Zoom, which is just fine to do. No one cares.
They're not stopping it. They probably will do a 7, right? Because the franchise has been incredibly successful.
Having it in the can, though, while he's alive and healthy and hasn't broken his neck, which he's going to end up doing at some point.
I'm sure we'll get an 8 out of them. They will absolutely want to do this because 8's going to be a monster success.
Promoting, you don't need to go on the big promotion thing anymore nowadays. No one gives a shit.
They obviously, imagine like movies have been like gone for a while, so they're obviously thinking if we can pull out like all the stops and like really put this in front of people's noses, we can get them to come into a cinema.
You can do that with a trailer. What difference does it have him going around being interviewed by people?
Some people want like the traditional Hollywood razzmatazz.
It's pointless. Yeah, it is pointless. But whatever. Army of the Dead. We got a date finally.
May 21st. It's going to be the season of Zack Snyder.
Yeah. I'm curious for this. I hope it is quintessential Zack Snyderness in the way that it handles this action and everything. I just want dumb Zack Snyder fun.
So you want like dumb action with terrible story?
With beautiful visuals.
I wouldn't mind dumb action with a decent story.
Yeah.
Can we not compromise?
Yeah. It's Zack Snyder, so you can't really hope for too much.
I was reading some theories about this. So apparently this is like where the outbreak of zombies is just confined to to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah.
So is the story going to be that these guys go in for the heist and somehow they bring the virus out with them into the world, making their money useless?
That could be a good little twist for the end. That could be.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how because they had to reshoot quite a bit of this as well, innit, to get rid of Chris D'Elia, who finally came out of hiding, I think, yesterday.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, finally made a little statement. Typical.
What's he saying?
I'm a sex addict. I got so successful that sex was so easily accessible and it made me go a little crazy, blah, blah, blah.
All right. Just staying with Zack Snyder, obviously he's doing a lot of press stuff for Justice League, the Snyder Cut. He says he's
Zoom.
Over Tom. Zoom. Oh. Yeah, that's that pandemic world. You want to portray to people that it's all over and it's safe. That's why they want to put Tom in front of the cameras with people. He's contemplating his next film already and potentially thinking about a King Arthur movie.
If it's going to be like the sequence in Sucker Punch where they're in the medieval world, that could be a lot of fun. It's going to be terrible. We all know the script's going to be garbage because he's going to want to write himself. But that sequence was fun. Very fun. But the thing is, King Arthur, we just had a bloody King Arthur one. The Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, but it wasn't a very well. I haven't actually seen it, but I'm assuming it's not very good.
Neither have I. Everyone hates it so bad.
Right, there you go. Off. Yeah. So I want a modern, good King Arthur film. I mean, like the only one that people really talk about is Excalibur. I remember watching that years ago, and I just like, oh, this is not a good film.
Which one was that one?
That was like from the early 80s.
Oh no, there was another one, King Arthur in the 90s, or was it early 2000s actually with Keira Knightley?
Oh, really? I have to track that down.
And I forgot his name. Crap.
Right, I'll look that up later on.
Yeah, but I enjoyed that one.
Right, go. And very lastly, I'm not entirely sure whether there were some conflicting reports as to whether this had happened or not, but now have a Supergirl has now been cast in The Flash.
Yes, a Latina, Sasha Cale or Callie?
Yep. We don't know how to say that name now, but I bet you within the next year or so, we absolutely will.
Yeah, interesting. Some people feeling they just cast her to replace Superman. But I'm presuming this is from some sort of alternative world that Flash crosses over to. So, yeah, interesting casting. Some people were okay with it, some people not. Typical.
Well, yeah, and I think the bigger news here is like stuff seems to be happening with this film again. Like it was alive, it was moving, it then went dormant, and then quiet, and then it's alive again.
When are they shooting it? Like that's the thing. Like, just start shooting. You take it so damn long.
Well, they've got like a release date now. Well, they've always had a release date. They keep moving it, right? But now it's November 4th, 2022. So literally, they need to start shooting it last week.
Now. Same with like the Black Panther one. That's for next year, I think. They have to start shooting that now.
I know you mentioned the rumors about like Jennifer Lawrence earlier, but there's a thing in not particularly about her, but it seems like Australia is now becoming the place to go to shoot your films because they have this whole quarantine process when you arrive. So technically, when you go through, it should be like a lot easier to like do stuff.
They've been good because they hit it hard when the outbreak first happened. Yeah. They quarantined everybody straight away for a long period of time, and they pretty much got their numbers down to zero. I think there still might be a few little spikes here and there, but I think out of most sort of Western countries, technically it's kind of East, they got it in the best. They're in the best shape compared to everywhere else, so it's easy to shoot over there. A lot more freedoms. Yeah,
so I do wonder if that's where films are just now going to, like, for the next couple of years, and they're going to build up this whole new industry over there. They have got good facilities down there as well, though.
Yeah, they've been shooting a lot of films there. I think the Warner Brothers lot.
They've got a massive. Was it Disney. Warner Brothers or 20th Century Fox studio?
Somebody. Yeah. So yeah, that should be cool.
Right, that's our news portion done.
So let's get to it. So our source, our mystery source, it's a little frustrating because obviously we can't name who it is to give them credit because, we don't want to get anyone in trouble. But suffice to say, they said you've seen it. And I guess we'll get to find out in a month's time how this reflects the final product.
So this is somebody who has seen the Justice League Snyder Cut. And we were able to put some questions together, which we'll go through now. Is it open-ended or a definitive ending?
Very much open-ended, which is a bit of a bummer. Frustratingly so, knowing the state of the current DCEU timeline. So that means we're not going to get a definitive end. I guess because Snyder originally was thinking that he was going to get to
do more. Yeah. It's not a bad thing because as long as it's not like a cliffhanger ending, that there is some form of ending, but it's open for more. Yeah. Does it tie up Man of Steel and BVS?
No, because of its cliffhanger ending.
Oh, it is a cliffhanger ending.
There you go.
Oh, right, okay.
But it fits with the existing films much better than the theatrical cut.
Right, okay. Fine, so it is a cliffhanger. Damn. I hope it's not another Superman dying. Is the tone consistent with BVS and Man of Steel?
Yes. Most of the wacky quips and gags have either been scrapped or isolated to Ezra Miller's Flash, which makes... That was his character, so that makes sense. The tone isn't as dreadful as BVS, but more hopeful rather. Faith and healing are strong themes in this version.
Damn, the comedy's gone. I love the comedy.
Comedy was terrible. It did not fit Justice League at all. I think Whedon tried to make it like how he did the Avengers. But with 4 in that, just nah, it's not right.
Does it feel like you're watching a new movie?
Yes and no. The overall plot is the same, but has more time to breathe and better dialogue. The set pieces are for the most part the same, but have been vastly extended or tweaked. More coherent, more violent. The reintegration of Lois Lane and Cyborg's character motives, plus the new soundtrack make the most difference. So again, the same beats basically, but just more time to breathe. So that could mean that people are getting their hopes up too much for this to be a completely different experience.
Oh yeah, it's always going to be tough, right? Because they're essentially, like we mentioned earlier, like the bare bones of the movie is already there.
Yeah.
Does it feel like you're watching a 4-hour movie?
It feels quite long, but it is broken up into chapters plus an epilogue, Tarantino style, with chapter headers, which helps detract from the long runtime. It's like superhero Magnolia. This is a great film.
I've never seen
great film is my bit added. But you've never seen. Damn it, Mo! I hate when you do that.
Hold on, is it Stealing Magnolia or something? Or is it actually called Magnolia?
Magnolia, yeah. Tom Cruise is in that. Best performance he's ever done, in my opinion.
Really? Might have to check it out now. Is it actually a good movie?
Yes, I think so. More emotionally engaging and less hectic. Oh, it is more emotionally engaging and less hectic. Personally, this is second to Man of Steel in the DCEU, followed by Wonder Woman. I guess that's if you really liked Man of Steel.
But I guess you fall into two camps here, right? It's either Wonder Woman is the best of the of the DCU or Superman. Yeah. How does it compare to the original movie?
Definitely an improvement, as it now is a singular tone and style. Since it is mostly the same plot, one could argue the theatrical cut is a more efficient way of telling it in under 2 hours. But in doing so, the theatrical cut sacrifices the themes of identity for Cyborg and grief for Lois Lane. In a way, Lois Lane's grief over the death of Clark is the surrogate of Zack Snyder's post-family tragedy. But that happened after. But maybe him adding that. This is me adding this, people, if you're only listening to this. Yeah. And his resonated with me once the end credits rolled. See, yes, it depends how much of that is something he filmed before or what he's added since. But yeah, because of his daughter dying being the cause of why he left.
But didn't his daughter die way before he actually started filming this? It happened quite.
The refilm, but I mean, when he originally filmed it, he filmed the movie.
Yeah.
Then she died.
Yeah.
And he left, and that's why that's why Whedon came in to finish it, and then he just changed it all.
Didn't she die way before the original film was made?
No. That's why it wasn't completely finished.
Are there any surprises that haven't been leaked or that fans aren't expecting?
I cannot say. Fans may be expecting too much, though. Because he doesn't want to. This is me speaking, guys. He was very. The individual was very explicit in saying they didn't want to ruin anything or give any spoilers. So I think that's why it's being vague. They're being vague here. I cannot say. Fans may be expecting too much, though, especially the Snyder Cut people. If one were to divide it into 3 acts, this is essentially the same story, but presented in a more elegant and impactful manner. That is what surprised me the most.
Ooh. And ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we're basically getting a 4-hour cut of the same film. With more extreme.
More violence. I'm curious to see how violent this is, though. Can't be that violent.
How is Junkie XL's soundtrack?
Triumphant. Far better than the generic Danny Elfman score. This is a continuation of the hopeful motifs of Man of Steel, which make a welcome return. Also, all of the licensed songs have been replaced with different songs. I really need to rewatch the original Justice League.
I don't think I could. I know it's probably worth doing it, but I don't think I could.
I have to, even just for the sake of our review, to be more completionist. I have to compare the two side by side.
Is it on Netflix?
It was somewhere. I got a copy of
Do you feel anything that Josh did should have stayed? Story beats, action scenes?
Not really. I was mainly surprised to see Whedon-esque scenes from the theatrical cut that were actually Zack Snyder's all along. So that is interesting because that means that a lot of stuff that we kind of dismissed as being Snyder's, add-ins weren't.
If I understand correctly, have all of the Josh Whedon scenes been exercised?
Yeah, every bit of it. Apparently, Zack Snyder, this is me talking, apparently he still hasn't seen it, and his wife and I think even
Chris Nolan
tells him don't watch it.
No, I think like his wife was saying like don't watch it or break your heart or something.
Yeah. That's crazy. Wouldn't he even be curious just to see what?
It's kind of like, it's not like Josh Whedon like muscled him out of it, right? Or replaced him. He left voluntarily, did he?
Yeah, because he had to deal with his family and the grief. Yeah. Crazy. Alright, go.
Was it worth the wait?
Yes, but don't expect a totally different story.
How was the additional Aquaman cyborg scenes?
I was fascinated by a scene depicting Atlantean communication, something I don't remember from the James Wan Aquaman. Apart from that, just minor scenes that tie in to the then upcoming Aquaman movie. It's interesting. However, it is easily apparent that Ray Fisher was mad disrespected in the theatrical cut by the amount of his scenes that were scrapped, altered, or oversimplified. Here, Cyborg's origin story, his relationship with Silas, and his character arc are intact.
Just remind me once we've done this. In fact, there was a rumor last night going around about some recasting in Aquaman. And is Leto's Joker improved on his previous appearance?
His presence is quite disturbing and opens up a big can of worms.
Oh dear.
Very cryptic, but I guess the major theme of that review, so to speak.
How does that make you feel?
Is don't expect too much. Don't expect a completely different narrative experience.
I actually think that goes without saying, really, because he's absolutely right. People are expecting a whole brand new film. They're expecting like it to be totally different. Yeah. I'm kind of expecting it to come in and give me a blowjob while I'm watching it. That kind of like it's that kind of experience, and I do feel I'll watch it and I'll be like, huh.
So, just imagine the same film with the ability to breathe, added scenes to develop the characters. So we're getting a lot more Cyborg, a lot more Aquaman, a lot more the bad guys, the antagonists. Obviously, we're getting Darkseid, which we never got in Whedon's version. Thankfully, the Russian family are going to be gone.
And it's 4 hours long.
Yeah. So we guess we'll find out in a month how accurate all of this was.
It's when you say it like that, we're getting the same film, but it's 4 hours long.
Well, how much longer was Kingdom in Heaven from the theatrical cut? Like 45 minutes or something?
It was 45 additional minutes.
Yeah.
This only makes the film 3 hours and 15 minutes, including credits.
How long was the original Justice League? We should actually look it up. It had to be like 2 hours or something.
Hold on, I'll quickly look it up now. While I'm looking that up, Emilia Clarke apparently may be replacing Amber Heard.
Woo!
That was a rumor that went around last night.
Believe it when I see it, but please do it, man. Just get rid of that. I'm gonna be a gentleman. I'm not gonna call her what I want to call her.
Hold on, it was 2017. And it's got a 6.3. How the hell has it got a 6.3?
Just like the same mentality of people who wanted to love Phantom Menace, man. They convinced themselves at first viewing.
It is a runtime. Oh, it just says 2 hours. Exactly, 2 hours on the nose.
So we're getting a whole other film.
Double. It is double that.
We're getting a whole other film on top of it. That's so mad when you think of it.
It's the same film, but twice.
This is fascinating, man. I cannot wait. Oops, sorry. This is fascinating. I cannot wait to see this.
We're gonna have to do like a special episode or something just to capture like our reactions after watching this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Should we get down to it?
Let's get to our MC. Let's go to the
MCU.
other end of the pendulum in the superhero world. The MCU rewatch. So this week, Captain America.
The First Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
From 2011.
Damn.
Jesus, it's only got a 6.9.
This is one of my favorite MCU films.
It is superb. From the moment it started, I was glued. I did not have the problem that I had before. Remember last week I was saying I felt a bit disengaged. This one, from the minute it starts, I was well into it. I did wonder if they really needed that opening scene that's in the present day. I wonder if it would work better if it just started with Rogers and then you see that reveal at the end. Yeah.
They didn't need to do it. That's true. Yeah. I'll give it that. What I like, the fact that even though it's 10 years old now, it's crazy, man. 10 years. That the effects of, even though a little, here and there, the effects of Chris Evans, skinny-fied, still holds up for the most part.
It does look really weird, though, right? And I don't know
you know what he looks like.
I think that's what it is. It's because you see the face and you expect to see like this hulk of a body, and I kind of do wonder, like, it must be such a strange thing for like the artist to have to work on, because you've got this body that's so much shorter than the actual real thing. You're literally taking like the head off and popping it on something else. Right?
Yeah. But they did a good job, and it's just, I love the aesthetic of this. That whole that feeling of like Rocket Man, that old film from the early 90s or 80s.
I don't know the one you're talking about, Rocket Man. Yeah.
But yeah, it gives you that World War II old Hollywood feel. That sort of sepia tone filter that the whole film has. And I love it.
Does it really well. Which actually, as I was watching this, and the one thing that kept running through my mind was like, it's such a shame that they were under pressure to get like the Avengers done, that they had to bring him into the future after one film. It would have been nice to see a second film.
Yes. It would have.
Yeah.
But then again, we wouldn't have gotten Winter Soldier straight away, which maybe it would have benefited that wait to see Bucky. If we had one more film of him running around in like the 70s or something.
Yeah. And you know what? Like Hayley Atwell plays like Carter so well that it's just a shame that we never got to see her in another film, or she never got a solo film. Like, I know there's a TV series, but the TV series, I don't remember it being that good.
It came too soon. If that series was to be made now on Disney Plus, with the Disney Plus, with that budget and everything, great. Would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Sadly,
yeah, and you know what? Because I haven't seen this film in such a long time, the whole ending of like Endgame now actually makes more sense, right? Because they get to have that last dance together.
Well, didn't it make sense before?
No, it made sense before, but now you're kind of like you're like, oh shit, they were actually talking about that last dance.
Yeah.
And like so many films later down the line, like 17 odd films or whatever, they like done it. It's those little touches that make the series like so worthwhile.
Yeah. It shows you that these people care what they're doing. They're not just trying to respond to what public opinion is and changing movies completely with each project.
Yeah. First great MCU film?
For me, I think it is my favorite of a lot of people go for Iron Man, but I think this one is definitely my favorite of Phase 1.
So when we watched Iron Man, we discussed like how Iron Man had like kind of aged, whereas this one doesn't really seem as though it's aged, right? No. It seems as though it's fresh today as it was then, and maybe because it's set in the past.
Yeah, I think that helps. Yeah, giving it that sort of age look, it kind of puts it in its own zone, its own time period. But also just the form of the storytelling, the narrative of this underdog is just so good, almost annoyingly so. But I think that's just how good Chris Evans is, that he's not annoying even when he's this Boy Scout, which could easily just be like irritating and unrealistic.
Absolutely, because he comes across as though so pathetic. It could have been very, very easy for us just to disassociate and stop liking him. But the fact that he throws himself onto the grenade, probably like really helps. Right?
That sums the whole character up.
Tommy Lee Jones.
He's barely in it, really, isn't he? Yeah,
but he is good for the bits that he
gets
is.
some fun little lines, especially like with the
Yeah.
kiss scene. Like, I ain't kissing you. Yeah, he gets some good moments. Yeah, he's been a long time. Is he retired now?
Tommy Lee.
Yeah, I think he
Let's
may
have
have.
a look. See, he's had a film. He had 2 films in 2020,
Okay, no, I guess not.
2019, 2017. He's probably doing like the Steven Seagal level films now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ones you've never heard of.
Yeah. Anything else you want to mention that you noticed this time around that you probably didn't remember? Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan. It's again because it'd been such a long time between me watching the first Avenger the first time and actually seeing the Winter Soldier. Now watching it in hindsight, having seen like everything that's played out, it's now even more bittersweet or more emotional watching him like fall off that train.
Yeah, it is. One thing I'm really curious about with this film is what the hell was Hugo Weaving's experience that was so miserable? Was it just the makeup? Because he's never been particularly well spoken about this film.
Oh, was he? Oh,
his involvement. That's why he never came back. Like he's always swore that they had to get like that lookalike to be in Endgame. What was it? No, it was Infinity War. Remember the guy who?
Oh right, I had no idea that he had such a miserable time.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's just because of the makeup, but he hasn't been very flattering about his experience with Marvel. It's a shame.
Yeah. Well, I guess it wasn't a particularly meaty role. But he was a villain. He got to do Madcap. Maybe he couldn't go off script. Maybe he couldn't do ad libs.
Maybe.
And they're like, Hugo, say it as it is on the script.
If they had if the ending wasn't what it was, and he got to have another film, what period would you kept it in the 40s?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to have that big gap in it from when he
either keep it in the 40s, or maybe something just post-war where they're hunting down Nazis, they're setting up Shield, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Would have been good. I guess the other thing to imagine is the ending of the film is actually really good, right? Him waking up in that room.
Yes.
And that scene of him like just running down like I don't know, New York's like whatever they call that.
Manhattan.
Absolutely brilliantly filmed. Just love the way that you see all this stuff and he just takes it all in.
The energy of the modern city and the electricity of the lights and everything is like, what the you can imagine that's the place to go if you want to overwhelm somebody who.
Yeah, you would proper freak out if you saw that, right? Like, imagine running out and like you think like I'm being held by Nazis or something, right? And it's literally like, where have I woken up?
Yeah, it definitely gives you that little bittersweet sadness where he says, I'm supposed to meet a friend or something like that at the end. It's like, aww, poor Betty. Only got the kiss.
Yeah, and then I can't remember what was the. Oh no, it wasn't really an end scene, was it? Post-credit scene is more of a trailer for the Avengers.
Yeah. So that's the next one up.
Yeah. Did you spot? It's almost not quite a blink and you miss it, but it's like one of her early roles. Natalie Dormer is in this film. Old Queen Marjorie.
Oh no, my brain's gone to mush.
From Game of Thrones. You know Marjorie,
Joffrey's
wife.
Yeah. Yeah, the chick who makes out with him.
Yes, yeah.
He gets caught kissing. Yeah. Yeah. Dumbass. Can you be so dumb? At least just keep your hands up. At least then they can't argue that it's not you. Yeah,
but it's probably the first time it's happened to him, so he's probably like enjoying it. And it is Natalie Dormer, right? So
that's it. I think he stays a virgin until he freaking goes back in time. Because who else? There's no one else that he looks with. There's no opportunity.
No, and he's always like saving the world.
Yeah.
The
world first.
Yeah.
Cool film, man. Phase 1 shall end next week with The Avengers.
Oh, it's been a while since I've seen that, but I'm really looking forward to that now.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So that's it. Mo, how can they get in contact with us?
If you want to contact us, we are at tatmpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to tweet us, we are Talking at the Movies. Talking at the Movies 3. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, we are Talking at the Movies.
Yes, guys, don't forget, check out Voltron Network, 2 words, on YouTube to see the video version of this. Show us some love, support, subscribe, give us a like, show some love. So from me, Edgar,
me, Mo.
see you guys next week. Later.